Hey everyone, Georgia Farming Food Vlog. This is your September banana update, and these things are huge. Just to give a heads up, it still has not flowered, still has not fruit. There's not even a flag leaf yet. If you look way up there, the current leaf that is coming out is still a massive leaf, the same size as all the other ones. So a little disappointed, but as you can notice, look how big this pup is. This pup was only a little kind of like belly button height, you know, a month ago, and now it's probably about 7 feet tall. So this is the pup in the back. It is now 6'6". So this thing is huge. This is a really good sign because this main banana tree, let's see what the height of this big guy is now. "8 feet 4 inches. So this is actually the first generation of this one. So when I bought this, it was just a small little banana pup. And this is the very first one. So typically your first generation, as the root ball expands, grows the slowest. And as you can see, this pup that came up just 2 months ago is now almost as tall as the actual original mother tree. So unfortunately, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot here a little bit because we're already late in the season. Now we have 2 giant trees on this one root ball. And so there's probably no way that, even if this one did fruit today, there's no way it's gonna ripen because of how big this other one is, as well as how limited time frame we have. Next week is actually gonna start getting into the 50s in Atlanta. So really our attention now turns to how can we best set this up for next year to fruit. And so one thing that's really encouraging is that this pup right here, in 2 months, it's now over 6.5 feet tall. So even if we cut these down to the ground and let a brand new pup come up in the spring, we're gonna be in great shape to fruit because it'll get to full height in just around 3 months. So start growing in March, and then April, May, June, so mid-June to early July, we should see fruit on a new one. But I also wanna see, can we keep one of these alive through the winter? So stay tuned for a video on that. We're gonna be wrapping them with all sorts of different heat tape, as well as some light bulbs to see in Atlanta, we only need a couple of degrees warmth to keep them from freezing. So we're really close to that line, but we're gonna be able to keep them alive over the winter. We're gonna test out some different methods. But if you come and look at the base of this tree, the diameter of this version, so this variety, this is a dwarf Namwa, it's just unreal. I mean, it's over 10 inches in diameter and probably weighs maybe 250 pounds full off. But we're gonna do a little bit of pruning here. So got the machete. When they get this big, remember, always cut up, but when they're this big, you can just kind of slice them and they come right off. Throw them for the dogs. Probably get a couple more in here. Let's do the same for pup. For this one, these are a little bit easier to mess up just because they're little, and you never want to peel them down. And one more. So as for all these other pups, because I already have this really large pup that's going to take over the mother spot next year, I can go ahead and get rid of these other pups. So to make it easier, what I do is I just cut them down close. And then I got a little mini shovel. This is what I found to be the best to remove pups. You just stick it down in between the base of the mother and the pup itself. Push it down, and you can just peel it off. So this one actually would survive and be able to be replanted. I cut the top off, which is not great. But there's actually roots on there. You can cut a little less and get fewer roots if you didn't want to keep it at all and you knew you were going to throw it away. This isn't bad. My root ball is massive right now and they're growing so fast it's not that big of a deal. But if you wanted to replant it, you could cut it further into the mother and get more roots and then be easier to reestablish somewhere else. We're going to do that real quick with the other ones. That one came off easy. Some of these you can just kind of pull out by hand. You gotta be careful because this one right here is in between my two main plants. And the last thing you want to do is hurt one of your two main ones and damage it down low where there can start to be some disease or anything. And then last thing you want to do is just kind of cover it up. We've been getting a lot of rain here, so I haven't had to water very much. If you're in the Atlanta or further north, I would probably advise to stop fertilizing, maybe do one last fertilizer treatment right now, just because we're starting to get towards the winter. And we really don't want to push them too much where they have so much growth and foliage that they don't do well during the winter. This one, we're ready to go. They're going to be good to go for another month or so. Then we'll check back in right before we overwinter them, probably about like early October time frame. Jump over here. Let me just show you a quick update of how the other ones are doing. Here's the double Mahoy. Also going to do some pruning here, but let's see what the height on this one is. This one's actually grown a little bit slower. If you come in close, it's really interesting. You can tell that even though both of these are dwarf, this is almost more of a dwarf than the dwarf Namwa, because you can see the style of the pups. You get these kind of really short, kind of like chunky pups, whereas opposed to the other one, you know, the dwarf Namwa, we get these tall, fast-growing pups. And these are all still sword suckers, or sword pups, but they just grow differently. So you can tell that this one, you know, as well as the main mother here, it's only just under 6 feet tall. So I mean, we're still growing fast, but it's just a whole different behavior and like different way that it's growing. So this one actually probably was going to fruit a whole lot shorter than the dwarf Namwa over there. We're gonna again, you know, prune this up, take off the pups. We're gonna leave just this one big one right here to be the one that survives after the mother fruits. And then here is the blue Java, the ice cream banana. So this one again, this one has more. It is more like the dwarf Namwa, where it's growing a lot taller, a lot faster. We still have a really thick base. This one though, we don't fruit until probably 16 or 17 feet. So there's no chance that we get this in Atlanta, but we're about 7'3" right now. Lots of pups. We're gonna remove probably these two and just keep this back one here. Again, it's doing the same. You know, the double Mahoy offshoots, like, you know, there's probably 10 pups on there. You know, whereas the ice cream, the dwarf Namwa, we have 5 or 6 at a time that start coming off. We're gonna prune this up and everything. Remember, this banana is not nearly as cold hardy as some of the dwarfs. So it's gonna be really hard to keep alive over the winter. We're gonna try, but I would not be surprised if this dies back to the ground. We have to start all over. But however, once you have your bananas growing for 5-6 years in the ground, they get faster and faster and faster for every pup. So I wouldn't be surprised if we can get this to fruit in a couple of years. Just unfortunately, probably not right now. You know, and then the other last one I have is the Minty Coho. I have it in the pot. We're probably gonna take that one inside for the winter. That is the fastest growing banana, and we'll plant it early next year and hopefully get some fruit on that. But thanks for watching all these updates. Really, the big thing that's coming soon is how to overwinter these bananas in areas where they typically don't survive. So I'll be working on that this next month and get that posted soon for everybody out there that's trying to do the same thing as me. Thanks for watching. It's Georgia Farming Flu Vlog. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. See ya.